It's morphin' time. Always wanted one of those. Get one of those Power Rangers morphers one day. That'd be cool, right? Welcome to the show. Today we have Sir Richard Hart to my left, my right, one of those. Pikachu on my right, left, depending on where you're looking and where you are in this dimension we call space-time and the world. We are here, back, baby. 3 streams, 24 hours. That's what you wanted, right? Giving the people what they wanted for the week of March 15th, I guess. Yeah, I kind of got just inspired yesterday. I'm like, you know what? I want to talk about PulseChain and Richard's updates. I haven't dev explained anything for a while, and a lot of people seem to like it, so let's do it. And then I'm like, you know what? PulseX. I haven't talked about PulseX for a while. Let me dig into that too. And I didn't cover everything yesterday. I just kind of wanted to cover the current events and all that stuff, but covered a lot of good stuff. And today I have a gentleman with me, at least one of them, maybe more, named Top Gun Hexadian. Like Canadian, but Hexadian. He taught me that the first stream we did. He seems to be a PulseX connoisseur. We had him on 100% uptime eons ago to talk about it, and also an open mic from the past as well. But today, from the sound of his tweets, and again, he may not be the only one dropping some knowledge today, but at least this gentleman wants to come here, share some potentially new game theory or thoughts he has around stuff. And we want to welcome him on the show very, very shortly in like 60 seconds. I do want to go through open mic just for people who are new. So depends on how many people we have, if we rotate or not, but maximum 4 people at one time. And at least 15 minutes or so of either talking or engagement or otherwise before we do a drawing where you pick a number. If you guess the wrong number, you get to be rotated out, and the next person coming in. Only if there's more than 3 people, it's anyone waiting to come in, basically. Those are the rules of open mic. I'm going to drop the StreamYard link in the chat. Anyone can feel free. I'll just throw it. I'll throw some links on Twitter as well for folks, just in case they want to join as well. One sec. Man, I scheduled this open mic a while ago, and it's like not even coming up on my first things yet. Okay. So I'm going to drop it in the chat. Anyone want to come on? All you got to do, if I don't know you, or you don't usually turn your camera off or whatever, just turn your video on, just for accountability, blah, blah, blah. And we will get you in and talk about whatever you want. So say hi to the chat real quick for 15 seconds before we bring in the first person on, and maybe only person. I have no idea. I don't know how many people are going to show up to these things. Sometimes it's a lot, sometimes it's a little, but it's always a good conversation. UFO to go. Good to see you, man. A regular John Father J6. Usually UFO beats you as number 1 to comment on the chat today. Don't feel bad though. He's all over it as well. Good to see you, J6. I've seen you on just pretty much every last stream I've seen. Military Grip, good to see you as well. I've seen you new. Godfather J6, what color Power Ranger, Max? You know, I always like the Blue Ranger. So there you go. Max Trivia, Blue Ranger, that's my guy. And he was like, you know, and he was the nerd with Ryan. He was like the nerd. Billy was the original Blue Ranger. You know, they went through 50 different iterations like Pokemon and stuff too. But Blue Ranger, that's my guy. I like the Red Ranger too. I like the White Ranger, but Black Ranger was cool. I always love the Battle Axe. I mean, Battle Axe is amazing. So Chad Don responds, welcome, sir. Good to see you. Don is in the house. Graphics, I'm going to drop you a link if you want to come. We were just DMing on Twitter a second ago. God damn, did I drop the YouTube link? My bad, everyone. Jesus. Oh, it's been a busy day. All right, sorry about that. Chat was like, yeah, we're gonna give you some time. If you want to jump on graphics, feel free. No pressure though. No pressure. I know we got a stream coming up that we're gonna get to as well. John Doe Crypto. My bad. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, like I said, graphics. If you want to, feel free. Otherwise, yeah, man, you ain't lying on the Pink Ranger. That movie, I'm telling you, the Power Rangers. I think the only movie they ever did. That was actually a decent movie. You know, to be made in the 90s or so. And Pink Ranger. You know. Pink Ranger's great. So without further ado, TGH, welcome to the show. How's it going, man?
Hello, folks, and hello, Max. It's been a while since I've seen you.
It has, man. It has. Yeah, I got everything going on today. I got the lightning in the background. I got Peter McCormick. It's Pikachu right there.
Hello, Pikachu. Hello, Richard. It's good to see you guys too.
Richard's just like, why can't you understand? Or it reminds me too of the Alex Australian Alex stream. I forget his name, but he's like, the whole time he's just trying to talk about Hex going to, all the things wrong with it, and he's like, it's going to go to zero, mate. And Richard's like, it's going to go to zero, mate. And then all that stuff. It was just one of my favorite quotes of all time, stream wise, was that. So Richard has crushed the haters before, and maybe he'll lull them to be on our side with his humbleness, with the new look. Hard to say. We haven't seen him on stream yet, so it's kind of a wait and see on that. But it's interesting times, man. Interesting times in the RH ecosystem, right?
Yep. Well, in my short little while here and watching some of his old content, like he's definitely got two sides of being usually the smartest person in the room, which I think makes him a little bit jaded, so he can come off egotistical, but then he actually genuinely cares about people. So I mean, seeing him not tweet about Red Bull cans and give me more psychological trauma talking about, pterodactyl porn, I'm happy if he's just getting back to
that one.
core values.
I might have missed the pterodactyl porn one. Wow. Okay.
Oh yeah, no, it was ladies' night. He was on with CZ and all the other ladies, and he started talking about it, and it stuck with me. And he's a great guy, but he still hasn't picked up one of my therapy pills from the nightmares. But hey, we can't win them all.
He's been tweeting a lot lately, but it's been the dev outrage marketing and as well as the childhood memories and stuff. So that's got me going lately.
Yeah, it's good to see him getting back to some of his more core values. I think it's easier too when he's got the product getting closer and he can kind of like, get off me, go hounds, here's your test net. Now I can get back to being myself. Like I don't think any of us, let alone him, expected this kind of delay in it when we were all discussing it a year ago when I first came up with my math model.
I know, man. A year ago, it was like everyone's ready to go. Mid-May, let's do this. Oh, it's got to be June. Oh, it's got to be August. It can't be 2023, can it? And I remember people getting upset when it was October or so. I think I started saying, guys, it may not be coming this year. And I remember the comments were like, they're like, you're the reason he's not going to launch because you keep, it's like almost like a fudding event. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like it's like the trying to disprove a negative. Like you can't say any different either. So it's not here. He's not tweeting anything super positive. We weren't even getting the Aragon is stuck on stages stuff back then. So how times have changed throughout here.
Yeah, a lot of dry months, and now we've got some information to sink our teeth into again.
Yes, exactly. J6, by the way, I think around testnet, he will probably. I say we'll see some strange around testnet. Like that's got to be the lowest common denominator of going live for Richard is testnet's live. People, let's get it going. So, anyways, my shirt I wore today in your honor, sir. My HODL PulseX because I knew you were coming on, and I don't get to wear the shirt too often. I've been going. The last couple of days, I've been kind of refreshing myself with stuff, and I told you, maybe we can go into like some of the reward token, the incentive token, the buy and burn, kind of the tokenomics, the pump minerals, and then whatever interesting game theory or other stuff that you've been thinking about recently. So wherever you'd like to take it, we're on the ride with you.
All right. Well, perfect. I mean, this is where like testnet's getting closer, so I feel more comfortable coming out of the woodwork. Because the last thing I wanted to do was just keep beating a dead drum, bum, 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 bum. Like, hey guys, here's the math model over and over again. Like at this point, good for a refresher, and I'm waiting for testnet myself so I can pump some new numbers into it. But I mean, the whole math model, it started around the game theory and the mechanics of PulseX. I mean, first off, all right, building a new chain to support HEX, awesome. Okay, can we get Uniswap over here so we can get trading? No, they hate us. Oh, okay. Well, then we'll build our own DEX. The beginning. of PulseX. All right. Well, then how are we going to kick Uniswap's butt? Well, first off, make the fees just ever so much cheaper than Uniswap's. So it's cheaper. That's generally the best reason to use it. Okay, more secure, no admin keys, full Richard Hart style building. Those are some great mechanics in it. But then Uniswap, the token did not too bad. It was still just essentially an ERC20, a duct taped on token that was it do? Well, it represents Uniswap. Okay. All right. Yeah. Yay. So how like all right, so what do we do here? Well, a lot of things are inflationary, but how much would people like a deflationary asset? That's been tried a few times, but I mean, generally deflating an asset, okay, it doesn't affect price though, unless you really can affect the psychology of the market to fear and covet this deflation as something that makes them want to buy. Unless, you combine the idea of stock buybacks but you throw them in a dumpster and burn them. So now you've got your deflation, so you can pump price and deflate at the same time and actually have a meaningful impact from deflation to actually positively reinforce price. Okay, well, this is one hell of a moment. All right, that's awesome. But then also, if you can, the idea of holding the what people are calling pumpamentals, Hex tries to build in the idea that the holders are the one that benefits. So instead of paying miners, it pays stakers. Well, no, bad term. I got to reprogram. What are we calling it now? We're not mining. We're not. What is it? We're just.
Let me go to Thesaurus.com and get you a word.
Yeah.
Burning. I think burning is catching on.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Burning and minting. That's right. We're burning and minting because that's what we're doing. But anyway, so that burn and mint was basically an idea to get people to hold. A promise not to sell by burning and minting. Okay. Then the idea of this party token, which isn't even a token, it was just a placeholder. So the idea is, well, okay, we'll get you to promise not to sell this as well, but no time lock on it. Okay, well, that's different. So we're going to earn more PulseX. No, it's deflationary. We said that already. Well, all right, then what are we going to earn? Well, you know how people like to come along and give free airdrops? Yeah, we'll put those in pools. And then the amount of tokens you put in, however much of the pie that takes up, well, that's your amount of the yield of these new tokens people are giving away and airdropping. Oh, that's all that's about. So, if no one comes along and wants to give free tokens to the PulseX holders for whatever weird reason, then nothing will ever get earned there. But if people are releasing new projects and see it as a valuable place to target people that will hold their tokens, that's the idea, game theory mechanic about that. It'll, instead of crop dusting airdrops to Hex stakeholders and sackers for Pulse, because, well, then I got to take my wallet and touch it with this DApp and see if I want to even claim and risk permissions. So, all this is, okay, I just sign my coins to this contract and then it handles airdrops and everything else to collect the pool. And this pool is meant for this airdrop. So I know what I'm signing up for before I put the coins in. So I don't just get crop dusted with all this crap to my wallet. So that's the game theory behind that. And all right, you might want to hold your tokens instead of selling them, which will also make the buy pressure amplify if you're not getting a lot of sell pressure. And then what other reasons might you want to hold it? Well, last we had heard, the rumor was 10 million tokens was the minimum vote share for being involved in the DAO. So if you want to say about what tokens are added to this airdrop field, basically, this incentive field to not sell your PulseX in game mechanics, well, then you get a vote. You get a say in the limited DAO. So these are voting shares and they get buybacks, not trying to flag any ghouls named Gary right now, but that's some pretty awesome pumpamentals all by themselves. And then it seems you do support a little bit any third-party protocol that's really meant to bolster Pulse. I can say other project names on here. Yeah. So Power City. liquid loans, like, I mean, after the stablecoin fiascos, however, now that USDC actually reclaimed its peg, it's gonna have bolstered confidence. Like, it's dropped the chance of a bank run on them again, in my opinion. Like, I don't think it's like lightning, where strangely you're more likely to get hit by lightning if you've already been hit once. Like, now they've built confidence, and you know what? We can take your bank run and stuff it. We're still fine. So now the USDC is safe and will probably remain haunting over us. But we need some really good stables where there's no admin keys and they can't just disable it in our wallet if they don't like the look of the contract we were sniffing around. That's really concerning with the stablecoin for me. So, I mean, Liquid Loans making the USDL protocol that is not fractionally reserved. Well, it is, but instead of just having, well, we gave out $10, but we only got one. So as long as all 10 people don't come looking for $1 at once, we're okay. Like, instead of that fractional reserve, oh no, we got $100 and we only lent out 10. So yeah, it doesn't matter if they come looking for their money. We got it all. That's an awesome idea. Liquid Loans is doing that. Like, back when the Federal Reserve was supposed to actually be backed by gold, like before the Second World War. You know, sound back money. The paper actually had some value because you could go exchange it for gold, not buying it at a store, but like 1-to-1 ratio, I think a gram of gold or something. Like, it mattered. It mattered. It used to anyway. So a protocol built like this, really, really important to flood our system with stable coins that can't really be depegged. They can, be depegged to the upside a little bit in a panic. That's really, really valuable. And I was really, really angry at Liquid Loans because they would only do it for Pulse. And I was like, well, that's well and good. But I mean, in some sort of negative, catastrophic price go down, I'm like, you know, I'm kind of wondering about all those layers of security. I'm like, wouldn't it be better on PulseX? Because it's got a buy and burn. That's like another cushion of redundancy, pushing price up to stop any events along with your stabilization pool and everything else. And so Power City came along and went, yeah, you know what? You're right. And they forked the protocol. So now we're getting PXDC as a stable coin based on PulseX. So that stable coin, I'm like, that one's even better, in my opinion. So we're going to have two really good stable coins flooding the system. And then we reduce sell pressure even further when it's like, oh, wow, look, because people are holding to vote and people are holding to claim new airdrops and the buy and burns going off, the price is going insane, and I don't even have to sell. I can just take a loan and mint some stable coins to realize my profit. So I don't have to put any sell pressure on my favorite asset. I'm happy. I'm happier than a pig rolling around in his own doings. Oh boy, me oh my! Like, since Power City announced that, I'm back on Twitter, folks. Oh,
I'm glad Liquid Loans left meat on the bones for Power City to do that. I think it's amazing. And then just a couple points too. So the liquidity providing part, is that where you earn the incentive token, or aka dump token, some people call it, and then the PLSX holders can vote on which LPs, which pools get the incentive tokens. Yeah, you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so part of the limited DAO is distributing incentive tokens. So now incentive tokens, in the last time I caught a Richard Hart stream where he roughly talked about it, where he was comparing the Uniswap token as duct taped on and him caring so little about the incentive token. It was the least cared about thing in his ecosystem because it's just an ERC20 that essentially it's just a duct taped on token. So, and he admits it. Like, at this point, it's like, look, guys, I gave you a buy and burn. I gave you deflation. I gave you an ETH fork. I gave you all sorts of things. It's like, so there's a joke about, like, dude, what happened, at the end of the Bible with Genesis? Like, Adam's getting to the end of all the naming the animals, and it's like, he's so tired. It's like, that's a bee because it's just being there, and that's a fly because it flies. It's like, at the end of the chain, Richard's done all his creation, and it's an incentive token. What do you want?
They definitely spoke
Hopefully it
English
has
back then.
value.
I said I think they definitely spoke English back then in Adam's days as well.
Yeah. No, but I mean,
I think
the joke of exhaustion.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I'm
So,
just thinking too, like there's got to be some game theory around it too, because
well,
if you're getting rewarded with it, if it's trying to incentivize you to provide liquidity and do these pulls, it must have some value. So how do you think it's going to have value?
okay, so I mean, in nominal terms, the incentive token, I mean, generally, any number of ERC20s, as long as they're listed on a DEX, they get trading volume from bots and other things that just regularly go. And some odd investors are just, you know what, that coin looks hot today and want to YOLO in. So for whatever reason, a token will get traded. And I mean, you incentivize it to liquidity providers, there's a chance it will get paired in liquidity. And then there's Hart's law. So one of the easiest ways to siphon value for the incentive token would be to pair it in liquidity, bond it with PulseX. And then the moment you've pumped it with or paired it with a pumpamental token, it siphons a little value off PulseX, but then stabilizes some of the sell-off pressure on the incentive token.
Gotcha.
So
Yeah, I was just wondering because it's not one of those clear things up front. Okay, it's a dump token. There's got to be more to it than that. You have to incentivize them. If you can't, if it's worth nothing, then where's the incentive? So I think that's the next level.
It'll be worth something, but yeah, it's something that they can dump into the market, and simply through arbitrage, chasing value in PulseX. If it's paired, like a lot of things, like you pair it with PulseX in large enough quantities, and you start to bond the price action at least a little bit to it. So there's ways to give the incentive token that actual some amount of value. And funny enough, like you could look outside of it, but I mean, yeah, with all the value going into PulseX, there's definitely room that if a lot of liquidity is paired with it, the value's there. And I mean, providing liquidity regardless of the incentive token, like the incentive token is not the primary reason to provide liquidity. It's gravy. The meat and potatoes of providing liquidity is the fees. It's the actual fees derived from the pool trading. So, I mean, that is what is supposed to take care of your impermanent loss. Now, if, say, a volume trading in a pool is low, but you want people trading in this thing, and there's not a lot of people providing liquidity because of the low volume, there's not a lot of fees to be made, well, now you bolster it with the incentive token. So the incentive token also isn't something that's just being handed out willy-nilly at mass print. Like the same way HEX has an inflation limiter of 3.69%, we have no idea at what rate the incentive token will actually be released in order to incentivize a pool. So, I mean, if there's only a token a day being released and you're only getting fractions per pool, well, there's only 365 tokens created in the first year. There could be some higher demand on that, strangely enough, because it's now strangely a coveted thing. And collectors just going, you know what? It's not complete until I own every RH token. Like, just for that mentality, like I got to have the whole set. There's reasons to buy into it. So, I mean, there's a lot we don't know about how it's going to roll out yet. So it's too vague to comment on. Like, it's the least talked about, the least pumpamentals to it. But I mean, there are some easy actions that can be taken to bolster it. So yeah.
And there's no sacrifice too. It's not like you got $1 billion, $2 billion already into it. This is something you need to earn or buy off the market from people who did earn it. So that's something that is strikingly interesting to me. Is there's not already this huge supply that's already given away to people based on sacrifice. So I wanted to ask too about the buy and burn. So it's not an automatic buy and burn, right? It's somebody needs to run the function, and if so, is that a pump for PulseChain because they're going to be or burning or otherwise going to take, or if nothing else, usage of you're going to need Pulse to do the PulseX buy and burns. Yeah, you just want to talk about that?
Okay, so you do have to have a little fraction of a layer 1 token for gas. Yes, you do have to be able to have the gas to run the transaction. So in order to protect against attack vectors in version 2 VB, it is a user engaged protocol. So it's not automated, so it can't be gamed by timing and mempool. This has to be activated by users. It randomizes a little more and makes sure that the value isn't sandwich bot attacked or other fancy terms that just mean evil actors want to come and siphon some of that value if they can for no good reason. So to help protect against that, and I think some of the against making it a security, no, a user has to interface with it. Now, each and every time you run that buy and burn, there's a small amount of the fees used to do the buy and burn that actually get paid to you. So you get paid to click that button. Now, you want to make sure you're getting paid more than the gas fee to click the button, but since there's actually incentive to engage with that contract, that's pretty cool. Basically, this community is large enough. I don't see any way that button's not clicked multiple times a day, each and every day. But it'll turn into one of those games like The Price is Right, get the price as close as you can without going over. Ooh, that bar's getting up, that's almost worth a click, but everyone's just waiting. Then someone's like, I can't wait any longer. Click, takes the fees. I don't know how it's going to work, but it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. It's paying the users to engage and activate the thing. And I mean, yeah, it will be really fun game theory wise to see how that experiment plays out, in my opinion.
Red Squirrel says buy and burn will be automated. I wonder, you said there's some things, what is the worst case if it is automated? Because I mean, at the end of the day, it's just API calls with MetaMask connected to it.
That's why I stressed in version 2 VB, because another community member building a project is also working on the buy and burn contract, and theirs currently, they've gotten to full auto, not semi-auto. No need for user engagement. No, this contract can just function on its own. They had to do a lot of work against attack vectors that took a lot of time, and with what it takes to put in a full Ethereum clone, I'm assuming RH didn't have that time, but maybe he did. How many devs does he have? I don't know. So I mean, that is possible that could be changing. We'll have to see. This is where I'm percolating with excitement, because we're going to have new PulseX updates. We're going to have a new GUI interface. There's probably going to be a smoother lean out. I'm hoping cleaner charts, because I love my TA, because I know how useless it is. People are like, all right, tell me right now at this moment what I should buy. And I'm like, you know what? It's a crapshoot. Really, you want me to shake a magic 8-ball about this? And they're like, but and I'm like, no. I don't go to the chart and then demand an answer. The chart just randomly on a day goes, hey, you see how all these things are lining up? And it's, yeah, I see what you're telling me. Now you're slipping me a secret. And then I'm all over the charts going, yeah, I see what it's alluding to. Because there's a moment, there's a convergence, and I'm like, okay, there's a bunch of clear signs. I can read this. And even then, it's not 100%. You still get completely fooled. So it's more of a black art than a science doing TA, in my opinion. And I do enjoy it, though. So I am hoping, big, huge ramble, I'm hoping for some cleaner charts, because I will say the charts on PulseX just kind of, on the test net, they kind of that's not so appealing for me to sit there and try and break down.
I'm sure they'll add some commas, and they'll add all kinds of improvements people look for. Question from YNWA Hex. So I missed a sack on both PulseChain and PulseX. The best move to pile it all in day one and sit on my hands, or watch for a week or two until it's all released? What do you think, Top Gun?
Oh, wow. Okay, the best move to pile all in on day one is to not pile in on day one. So, yeah, sitting on your hands and watching for a week or two also could be a huge miss. Like, I love DCA. You know what doesn't take a lot of mind work? Take my whole bag and split it up into 6 or 12 buys, or not financial advice, but like, I just sit there and I'm like, each month, a random day in the month, when it works out that, hey, all my bills are paid, I got my rent all handled, I got a little extra cash, here's my moment, hop on and do a DCA that month. That's how I do it. But break your bags up a little bit to take a little bit, because you're rushing, you're gonna keep worrying. You literally go 5% of my bags, 10% of my bags. You know what, if I spend that and that day one, I don't have to worry. I got some. I know I got some. And then when I see the price dip and I'm like, oh, I could have got it cheaper. Oh, yeah, I didn't spend all my bags. But I'm still not going to spend all my bags. Just put another chunk in. And then I'm going to keep watching. And then, oh, it went lower. All right, I'll put another chunk in. Oh, it went higher. Well, I still want more. Put another chunk in. Like, you don't have to worry. DCA is beautiful because it's going to be around for a while, and there's going to be a lot of volatility in the first few weeks, possibly first few months. So there'll be lots of room to DCA in, and you can feel happy knowing you got a little day one, you didn't lose all your money and whatever, because you missed those sacks. Like, I know I missed the Pulse sack, and I know there'll be a voice in the back of my head nagging me and not letting me sleep if I don't have a couple Pulse tokens bought that day one and put in my wallet. So I'll be like, yeah, all right, there's $50 for day one just to have some gas in my wallet for every transaction I might want to do. Then I know I'm covered.
That's
but
not
like,
a bad idea. Like to tempering yourself, but by just buying enough just to have gas. Yeah. If you missed out on PulseX and you want some PulseChain, you do need gas. So maybe it's just if you have to pull the trigger, if you've been waiting for 2 years like everyone else, you have to pull the trigger. Maybe just gas.
50 bucks, and I got gas. I probably have enough gas for life, really, with the way the gas fees are set up. Like, I mean, probably day one. Yeah, worst case scenario on my calculator, I was like, what if they sell it at a 20x? So, I mean, day one, $1 got you 10,000 tokens. At a 10x, that's 1,000. At a 20x, it's only 500 tokens. So $50 day one, if I'm lucky. That's 25,000 tokens roughly. Like, hey, I should still be covered for gas transactions for life, unless I turn into some degenerate and I'm like, every hour I'm like, I gotta trade something. So hopefully I don't do that, but you know. Yeah, right, I'm thinking just peace of mind buy. Like that's all I want to get done that day one, is just a little bit of money for gas tokens. And then I don't feel bad if I overpaid because it suddenly corrects back down to sack price. I'm like, oh, I could have had 100,000 tokens or more or whatever. Like I don't lose sleep because, I still have more money left over. I didn't ape all in. So I mean, not financial advice. Like, this is what I do for peace of mind. You do whatever you want to do. I am no fiduciary responsibility.
No fiduciaries, indeed. Yeah. We have another gentleman here that I'm going to bring in. I'll let him introduce himself and stuff, but it's part of the cross community collaboration I've been trying to do a little bit too. But I'll let him talk about him, and I think he may be a Hexkin. I'll let him tell us as well. But I think he's driving, so no video on this one. But welcome to the show, SK Crypto K. Can you hear us?
I can hear you guys. How am I coming through?
Coming through great, man. How's it going?
All right, fantastic. Pretty good. Happy to be here. Nice to meet you both. You can just call me SK.
SK. All right. Yeah, SK. You know, we were talking a few weeks back, and somebody tagged us on Twitter, and I said next time we have an open mic, I'll throw a link out there, and you can come on and if you want to introduce yourself. And again, I don't know if you're into Hex in the community or otherwise, but yeah, just feel free to run us through whatever you want and talk about
for a little bit. Yeah, and hey, feel free to stop me anytime or let me know if my audio's bad. But I do own Hex. I actually set up a stake probably a year and a half ago for like 2 years, and I haven't really checked it out. But I don't really trade on the Hex chart either. But I do hold it. I wouldn't say I'm a Hexican, but I am a DeFi
Not yet.
nut. That's for sure.
Gotcha. Cool.
But,
Yeah, I think I think you were telling me about your one of your projects that are you a developer? Are you just into the community, or what is it exactly?
Oh, okay. Yeah. So no, I'm not a developer. I'm also not officially on any team or anything. I don't get paid to do this. But as far as like a little bit of my background, so I am a YouTube influencer. I just have a small community. But I've been in DeFi since January of 2021, and I don't know much about you guys or how long you've been in, but 2 years in DeFi is like dog years. Definitely learn a lot, and you get rugged a lot, and you learn what works and what doesn't. And one of the favorite projects that's already 2 years running that I found is something called Elephant Money. And it's a passion project of mine. It's pretty much what I cover maybe 90% of the time, even though I dabble in a dozen different protocols. I always find myself finding that to be my favorite. But yeah, I don't go out there to shill anything. Only if I believe in it will I talk about it, kind of thing. And so,
what drew you into it? Is it trustless? Can you just have you compared it to Hex and stuff like that? What is what are some things you like about it that you said it's been running for a couple of years? So it's not doesn't seem to be an instant pump and dump, at least. So
no, definitely not an instant pump and dump. It's certainly a long-term project that's been battle tested. I mean, it had an exploit, matter of fact, a year ago that it's survived. It didn't even need to do a version 2 or whatever these other protocols do and fold up. These things, it's just a deep liquidity juggernaut is what it is. And primarily what I love about it mainly is it's the greatest store of value that I have. So like even though the markets can be bleeding red, the liquidity is so deep on Elephant that it just stays stable, and it's gearing up for a supply shock. And it's really a unique overall project just because of the developer. He's a MIT computer scientist. He's probably in his late 40s now, but he's got a huge economic background. He's worked in Fidelity and State Street, and coded some of these multi-billion-dollar protocols that those folks are still using at those firms today. And his name is Bank Teller, but he's been in crypto for the last 12 years, but for the last 5, he's been coding. And Elephant Money is, in my opinion, the culmination of everything that he's had successes and failures at, and it's just one of the best things out. So it's just, to me, I guess the elevator pitch would be it's a store of value. It's a better version of Bitcoin, and with its tokenomics, what it's designed to do basically is just supply shock. It's going to eventually dry up all the circulating supply of the tokens, and it's just going to create massive price appreciation, just like it did a year ago. If you were to look at the chart.
Do you know much?
But yeah.
Is it? Do you do much with L1s, or have heard like about PulseChain or any of the stuff that it's locking up a lot of the hex supply and all the the price positive performance we talk about here? Yeah, just you were just making me think of.
Yeah, I'm still waiting. I did a.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh no! I was gonna mention that I sacrificed a good bit into PulseX, so I am waiting on that. I did miss the hype about like the PulseChain sacrifice, but I did get into PulseX. I did not miss that. But just waiting around. I have no idea when it's coming out, but I'm just waiting.
Hey, none of us do. Do you plan on hodling your PulseX, or what? You plan on liquidity providing? Anything around that?
I'm probably, and I still work my day job. That I DeFi, my channel or community, it's all in my free time, all my hobbies. I just love it. I want everyone to love DeFi, crypto, as much as that it's not share even know or in crypto. So just trying to do my part to teach.
think you're breaking up there for a minute. You got good signal?
Oh, yeah. If I'm breaking up, I could always back out for a little bit. I don't know. I have good signal, but that doesn't mean it comes through okay. I'm sorry.
Okay. No, it's all right. You just broke up for a moment. Yeah, I mean that's definitely what we're excited about in the community, and just stores of value. I mean, when you said about being like Bitcoin, that's exactly the how what we think about is HEX being the store of value, the doing what Bitcoin can't do, and just being that, hey, you get to get in from zero, or you could have 3 years ago, like a lot of us day one folks, and then PulseChain is like another chance to do it, another chance to get in at the ground bottom with the L1, and then PulseX. We just went through the last 30 minutes of the tokenomics and game theory around it. It's just this whole circular like Richard Hart ecosystem of just, man, it's amazing stuff. A lot of winning going on. So glad you sacked, and glad you had some hex too. And I think the hex price. Actually, let me put up the hex price real quick, because everyone has been loving it lately. I'll share. It gets the people going. So I think it's down a little bit, but it's already up 400% or so over the last few days. And that's what I was going to ask Top Gun too. What do you think? Well, my internet works. Come on, internet. What do you think is the hex price? Why go up? Why go up, Dev? Is it anticipation? Is it just people buying more than selling? Like, what do you think?
So with PulseChain testnet coming, like HEX has always been a well-designed asset and a well-designed DeFi, and even though we took one heck of a punch in the nose of a market correction, really that extended market correction down, I think, is directly pinned to delays in PulseChain. And now that we're finally getting our PulseChain, everyone's happily charging back in. I don't know how high this will go, but I have a hunch that, unfortunately, it's buy the rumor, sell the news. We'll probably get pump action into testnet, and then as soon as we get testnet, people will probably run out again, and we'll get a correction because, ooh, we got our test tokens, so now we can go play. But then, like, I think like people will be surprised how quickly PulseChain comes after testnet, and I don't believe we'll get the same market flush down after we get release of a full chain, because at that point, we'll get a whole lot of excitement into that chain, a whole lot of action. And once we get some stability, probably some price bonding between the Ethereum and PulseChain copies. So, I mean, macro-wise, this is a lovely little middle to our W. And then I think as we get into PulseChain mainnet launch, we'll actually see the real palabra out or so. So, I mean, I don't think we're going back to 1.7 cents or anything after we get testnet, but I wouldn't be surprised if we take a 25% down or something afterward. Now, whether we get to 15, 20, or 30 cents before we get a testnet, I got no idea. The tea leaves are, like I said, yeah, I could shake a magic 8-ball about it.
Shake the money tree for us. Give us some, let some money fall out, and maybe some.
Yeah, I have a money tree. It's doing quite well. Like, it knows I'm invested in PulseChain.
All right, nice.
Yeah,
nice.
it's getting quite thick and full. I can't even get it through my door anymore. It senses the PulseChain coming.
If you need to prune
I should start putting it on the show with me and my money tree.
That would be cool, actually, and then shake it every once in a while, every few minutes.
Yeah, you owe me money.
If you ever need to prune it and you need somewhere to drop off the extra leaves, aka money, let me know. I can give you a place to put it.
Okay.
SK, what do you think about the macro too? I mean, just crypto at large. The Silvergates, SVB, all this stuff. Any thoughts on? Are we just? Is this a fake out? Is this a whipsaw event, or do you think, hey, money printer may go back on in some way, and we're going up from here? Any thoughts?
Yeah, I got some, and I might be in a bad area. Just let me know if my audio is bad. But
okay.
But I think we are in somewhat of a fake out right now, to be honest with you. some of my friends who are better traders than me, we're all of the belief that this little pump that we have right now is probably going to last for another month or two before like a real bear cycle hits us again, before probably early next year, and the halvening and everything. As far as like the banking sector goes, like that's just I mean, it's unfortunate if people were banking with these small SVBs and whatnot, but it's just banks consolidating and all the bailouts and all the volatility with USD. I mean, if anything, to me, it just strengthens the case for why people should be getting into DeFi and crypto and housing their money on cold storage wallets as opposed to banks. And, I don't really believe the media. They always want to talk bad about crypto, but they'll say one thing, but in the background, the banks are just buying up more cheap crypto, and it'll be 5 or so years before they come out and say, yep, we're ready to support crypto because, secretly we've been buying it for 10 years, but you don't know that. And so, just so I hodl most everything, and I'm just building for the future.
I gotta find that institutional is coming meme. I actually made I found it. Nice. I actually made a cup out of this because it was during the 2017 bear market. So I've been in crypto since 2016, and during the 2017 bear market, this one really was near and dear to my heart. There's Bitcoin, JP Morgan just reaching there into the chest cavity, yep. And all these guys holding back. You got the Fed, Goldman Sachs. I think there's one that had Square on there too. It's pretty funny. So hopefully that's been the meme for a while, institutional. And so you could say it could be in the background. Institutional is coming, meaning they're going to come out and say, we've been buying this forever. I could believe that narrative too. So I don't think you're wrong there. What's this one? Buy the dip. We're checking it. I got to Google for crypto memes more often. I get them out on Twitter, but Google's got some pretty good ones too. Wow. Just hodl, brah. Buy the dip. With the helmet on. Amazing stuff. Well, cool, man. Well, feel free to stick around or hop off, whatever you need to do. I think you're driving, so regardless, thanks for coming on, and we'll just continue if you want to stay on, or if not, feel free to drop off, whatever you like to do. Hexadian, what you got to say?
The banking sector? Oh my God. Well, you probably see me tweet more often than not about, like, I'm sitting on the bridge between, sometimes I'm crypto Twitter all the way, and other times I'm just screaming FinTwit. So I've been screaming about the under-collateralized banks and the TCE ratio because of the hold to maturity funds for months. So then everybody was like, oh my God, I can't believe the banks are. Yeah, I'm done. I've been tweeting about that for too long. Like, I was on somebody's space and they're like, oh yeah, talk to me about your bearish thing while Tesla's going up. And I'm like, this is not good. And I'll tweet. I'll post up in the tweets. Here's my reason. Here's my proof. And then I watch delete out of the top. And I'm like, oh, you bastard. You're hiding this stuff. Like, you just want to pump go up. So, this is not the credit event. There is more than likely that we are definitely weeks more to the pump cycle, but the actual bear collapse, I mean, we could just get a hefty market correction and more of this simulated bull market, in my opinion, until fall. It could take until like August. Late summer, like July, August, September, before we really get the credit event and the full slam on the brakes and the cut of rates. And right now, the inflationary cycle, the interesting thing where everybody's, okay, it's inflationary because the Fed's got to print money right now, even though they got to keep rates high. It's only inflationary if people are spending the money. Like, they're shoring up accounts. They're not telling the banks to spend more. At this point, the banks are in turtle mode. Like, okay, we have to protect ourselves. And psychologically, reducing inflation is about psychologically inflicting pain on the market to make them fear the Fed and interest rate hikes and turtle their spending. Once that flip of mentality happens and risk-off trading really happens, interest rate cuts are not a bullish thing. They're because something broke. And we've got earnings dropping off a cliff. We've got asset bubbles still getting ready to pop as default rates are raising on credit cards and auto loans. So, I mean, financially, I think Jamie Dimon described it best when he called it an economic hurricane. There is a bunch coming, but for right now, I think we're going to just see interest rates keep going, fighting inflation. And as long as we see inflation going down and nothing breaking, the market will trade bullish, thinking everything's fine, still hoping for a soft landing. Yay, denial. And I think crypto will really still show to be a hedge when that credit event happens in the major banking sector. But this could take a while to play out. Like if you go back to 2008, the problem started with Bear Stearns having its collapse in March. On the 8th, I think Jim Cramer's going, it's fine, bye. By 16th, we're getting a mini bailout just like we're doing now. It took until August 16th for the Lehman Brothers to collapse, the equivalent of a JP Morgan, a major financial institution, to finally, boom, there's the, we're toast, and there's your credit event. That was 6 months to play out. That took. So, I mean, the markets are strange. They really are strange. And the more anybody thinks they know an unknowable future, the more opportunity exists because history doesn't ever repeat. It rhymes. It's not that predictable. But in the realm of cycles, we're probably going to see more mania trading for. Yeah, I agree. That's what I've heard on Vintuit too. Like we're looking at another 4-6 weeks of up cycles. So I'm looking forward to see the potential. And with the news of PulseChain testnet coming, HEX has got some major action on it.
Yeah, that's the good news, I guess, in all this. And I've said before that we could have a mini bull run within our own ecosystem just due to the sheer number of people who want this thing to launch. And they either want to sell it all. It's gonna be funny to see there's gonna be this FOMO day one where people are gonna make probably the wrong choice and buy a bunch and then just watch it go down or watch it go sideways or whatever it is, and they get bored and trade again. Or there's gonna be a bunch of people who cannot wait to sell and get their SAC money back because they have real life problems or something. They oversack. They just don't believe in the project anymore. They're mad at Richard. They want revenge. They want fat man, give me refund. All that garbage. So it's going to be nuts, and there's going to be a lot of deals to be had, I think, on PulseChain launch for PulseChain, PulseX, and HEX too. I mean, that's again the mini bull run leading up to it, regardless of macro conditions, unless literally it's like, all right, North America's going to war with everybody else. Unless that happens, I could totally see HEX being the shining light that it's shown to be the last few weeks. And I don't know, 1 + 1, it adds up to me. But I wanted to talk about Dipcatcher because he added this. One of the few people who added the links on the request to talk about stuff tonight. Dipcatcher, by the way, feel free to jump on. I sent you the link if you have any time as well. In legacy banks, if there's a run on the bank, the first few people will panic and withdraw their money, and the last people will get nothing. In HEX staking, people that panic early in stake get huge penalties paid to the people who don't panic. Very interesting inverse analogy, I guess. And just to think about the Silvergate SVB. SVB was a number 16. It wasn't a big bank, but it was number 16th largest, I think, in the U.S. And I think with them too, it seems to be. Just from what I've been listening to commentators and shows and podcasts and stuff talk about it, the biggest problem was that the startups had a lot of their money, like their treasury, for example. All in podcast, I think it was one of the Davids, I forget, was talking about one potentially lesson learned from this is don't keep your treasury in maybe smaller banks like that, but you can keep your payroll, some of your capital there, but maybe not your entire treasury. And I thought, that sounds like a reasonable thing. And going forward, in order for us to have a faith in the smaller banks to support our regional ones to help, these, they're not just be this big monopolies with the big banks and every single person in the world only banking that way. Having some kind of system where, okay, sorry, we saw what happened to SVB. Maybe we're not doing our treasury there. Maybe we're not doing everything in your smaller bank, but we will still transact. We'll still use it for smaller amounts. So maybe they don't get as much assets under management going forward. I think, well, I guess maybe that's a question too. What about the bailout, quote, bailout? Is that even happening? Is that the banks paying the extra fees, or
this is where, the reason they saved the financial institution and just some players are cracking. There's some conspiracy theories we can put on our tinfoil hats if you want to deep dive on this. Just remember, folks, shiny side out keeps them from beaming the thoughts in. Shiny side in keeps the thoughts in. So they can't read them. Now, anyway.
Now that you framed it.
Yeah. But no, let's talk about this. So the bailout, I keep joking, unpopular opinion. Everyone thinks Fed pivot. No, the Fed can keep rates high whilst printing money. So they're printing limited money. So all the shareholders get bent. You were irresponsible. Go to zero. Collect nothing. Management, you were all responsible. You get nothing. Go to zero. You're fired. Now, all depositors, you guys, okay, all right. Our old FDIC insurance said anyone over $250,000 get bent. But anyone with small accounts, you're safe. But you guys whined way too much. And all these little bank runs happening. So, okay, we're extending FDIC insurance to infinity. So now it doesn't matter how big your bank account, as long as you were just a depositor being responsible and saving your money with a banking institution, you're safe. That is bailed out, being kept, and basically being sold to management to other banks that are more responsible so far. So the accounts are being transferred and protected, but the actual banks are being allowed to collapse. Now, as we get into the conspiracy side of things, Silicon Valley Bank was particularly deep in with venture capitalists and crypto. So when every other bank was seemingly okay, and that one failed. And then noticeably, the other ones that have been going, Signature Bank. Oh, geez. We knew a month ahead of time that was going because of the shutdown and withdrawal amounts through Binance because they deal with crypto. Oh, so there seems like a bunch of crypto banks are failing, but we know JP Morgan owns MetaMask, and that's not going to go under unless Jim Cramer said it's a fortress. But anyway, like, they're the big bank trying to own that crap. So, I mean, there's the conspiracy hatnish that this almost seems targeted in specific banks that like they all do shady dealings. So it does seem a little suspect, like it's an attack on crypto, but basically it's still localized with a few regional banks that finally hit their credit limit. And there's a lot more room for the bigger banks than the other banks. So that's why it'll take months to see the ripples still.
I just want to say that I saw a comment the other day that if Jim Cramer ever tweets that he's buying Hex, that they're going to jump off a bridge or something. The Cramer curse. The Cramer curse. We don't want any part of it. If he bought Hex, we would forgive him, right? He would be like, you know what? You're going to be right for, maybe you're not right very often.
Broken clock is still right twice a day.
What is it? The sun shines on a dog's ass at least twice a day. Yeah, something like that. So funny. So I threw up this. God, I gotta quit saying threw up. Every time it makes me think about. I put up this other tweet that Dipcatcher put in the link. Institutional Bitcoiners lose. So this is from 2019. Context 2019. Institution. I think this is the one he said that was his lease. One of his favorite tweets that he got like no likes, 4 years ago. Institutional Bitcoiners lose their minds over Hex without presenting a compelling argument. Feels like cognitive dissonance they accuse no coiners of. Does anyone have an example of Richard actually scamming? It's more repeated. The more it's repeated, the less credible it is. I also want to note here, instead of using the hashtag Hex to tag Hex, he actually tagged the account. That's how old this thing is. It's so old. 2019. This was a week after launch. And then the next one is, all I could find on Richard is he might have invented spam bots in the early .com days. If so, he's the internet marketing legend, which is very bullish for price. If Gary Vee invented a financial product, people call him a scammer too. I couldn't put it better myself, man. Fantastic. What's your reaction, Top Gun?
My reaction? Well, it's before my days. Like, so I found it November 10th, and I've got a standing joke in the community that, like, and that was November 10th of 21. So my standing joke is, I'm an XOG because I earned it. I've been your exit liquidity for a year.
Nice.
But no, I wasn't here to see that. But I mean, Bitcoiners have been losing their minds. But I mean, slowly I've seen, like, since I started and joined, it was scam to scam to
only on Reddit. Only on Reddit.
Like,
on Reddit.
Yeah. Like, it just disappears away, like BitBoy hanging out with Rich, or like a whole bunch of hate, like gatekeeping just dropping away. So I've gotten to watch them melt and change. So I mean, people are finally becoming accepting of it, and the scam business doesn't really feel like it matters all these years later, the way it used to. But as far as I have listened to Richard speak on this on his own stream, as far as the spamming stuff, he got one civil lawsuit. One person sued him because he was loosely related to some advertising company, and it was it was a $500 lawsuit, and it would have cost more to travel to that state to defend himself. So, like, yeah, that was what that was all about. Oh no, my God, somebody sued him in small claims court, and he was too lazy to go defend himself. Like,
I know
that
was an overreaction. It's just such bringing to anything.
That started the legend of the Spam King.
What is the mental model for confirmation bias? It's like you're just looking for information to tell yourself to confirm that you're right in your own mind. It's just like when you're stretching for that. If you look at all the stuff especially now. Okay, 3 or 4 years ago, you think Richard's a scammer, blah blah blah. There was no track record. He had whatever history going on.
One loss,
blah blah blah.
One $500 civil suit. That was it.
Like, there's this body of picture, this body of work you could paint. Oh, maybe not such a great guy. If you're calling him a scammer in 2023, you're just not paying attention. This guy has minted millionaires for years, and his plan is to mint millionaires and then put that into longevity research to literally give you more time with your friends and loved ones. Whatever he did, and it sounds like I don't. And again, I've been following him for 6 years. I feel like I've done a pretty good. I've learned a lot about his background. I've went to all the nasty websites who claim all this stuff, and I read all the things that I can think of. And my conclusion is, who gives a shit? He's more than made up for it. If he whatever wrong he's ever did in his life, and I think it's marginal at best, he is doing more than enough to make up for it now, and will continue to do for it. That's why I'm along Richard Hart stock. Richard Hart to the moon. Boom. By the way, JR says you have 1 million Pulse coming to you, brother.
Nice. Wait, me?
That's what it says. Top Gun TG.
All right. Thanks.
Make it PulseX.
Oh, wait. I'm trying to remember if I'm trying to remember who JR is. I'm like, maybe that's the guy I talked to in my DMs. I'll bet you anything my phone will ding with one going, yeah, it was me.
Probably. Yeah, there's some reference.
It's been a while. So. Been a brutal bear market. Like, I admittedly, like, I have a day job, 9 to 5, and I decided to take the path of least resistance. Because, I mean, my thing was, I'm a math savant. I had a scholarship for the Math University of Waterloo here in Canada, which is like our little Canadian version of MIT.
Dude,
and after I lost that, though, I mean, life just kind of seemed really crappy, and I went from dead-end tech support job, dead-end IT job, to dead-end restaurant job, and then finally I was like, I can do Pythagorean theorem in my head. I think working construction and reading a tape measure will be easy, like lowest responsibility possible. And so I've sat there for a very long time, and I still spend my days doing that. So I lost like a good portion of this winter. Like I almost was like, really getting worried that I wasn't going to get a chance to catch up on all the tech and everything going on because I've been working overtime. Like, nope, definitely can't pull any money out of crypto. This is a really crappy bear market. So I guess I'm going back to McDonald's. So I've been working the overtime this past 2 months. And finally, I'll tell you what, Max, for the first time since catching Hex before it took off, I'm like, no, I'm not missing that. Still in the 2-cent range. I didn't hit 1.8. I missed that, but I just above it caught it. I'm like, yay. I haven't been able to DCA again until yesterday. Yesterday, I bought some crypto. Like,
Nice.
finally, I finally had the money set aside that I was able to go, there's $100. And I'm like, yay. And next week, I'm even at its current prices, $100. Gonna go to Hex.
DC is king. You gave me you framed a funny. You made me think of Good Will Hunting when he's like, right, he's the janitor that's like the math genius.
Yeah.
we need the meme for Top Gun X80, and you're at McDonald's, but you're like the math. You're like people. You don't even type people's orders in. You just do it all in your head, and you just give them the correct change back and stuff.
I actually used to do that when I managed the Subway. We lost power once, and I kept the store going.
Wow, aren't they lucky to have you? Wow, that's cool.
Funny they still
and
fired
actually
me.
Useful at the same time. Yeah.
Still got fired though. No appreciation or loyalty.
It happens. It's you need to get getting fired gives you life experience. So that's one way to look at it.
It does. And besides, I can also say, like, I'm indispensable enough that there was one employer who fired me 8 times. Now, the takeaway from that is, how many times did he hire me?
That's true. I was going to say, why did he hire you that many times? This looks good on you. It looks bad on him, good on you on this one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I one of the things is I don't necessarily play politics too well. I say what's on my mind, so my mouth gets me fired once in a while for just saying honestly, like, yup, that's how it is. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. Okay, bye-bye.
Hilarious. I know what you mean, man. Hexwood says, got to keep those day jobs now for keeping those Hex money printers. Yeah, I mean, one day we can all become net sellers of Hex in a very respectful and honest way. You got to earn it first. But at the time being, if you're looking for financial freedom, working, the phrase I use is work in the bear, retire in the bull. And it's what hopefully a lot of us will be able to do.
Oh, I don't know if I'll ever sell my Hex. I might actually just keep burning it and minting it for life. I have my own plans to earn Pulse. And basically, as people want to play on the network and they need it eventually, and everyone's so desperate and that price is too high, I might release them on the market for the poor people at that point.
Yeah. Correction. Yeah. Selling, or there's a lot of loan deals you can do too. So you don't need to sell, and you can just pay back in payments. There's that, of course, with liquid loans, and sounds like Power City as well with PulseX and Hedron. All the price positive feedback loops, if you just keep staking, get those money printers going, whatever. There's a lot of different ways to do it, but it is weird to save. And to me, even just say the word sell Hex, it just kind of sounds, I'm like, I don't really think about that. I'm just thinking about stacking Hex more than selling it. So interesting.
Yeah, I don't have to sell Hex ever. I mean, I can even make it into an HSI stake and take a loan against it with Hedron. There's so many options in the ecosystem. So many. Like, who's selling Hex? Really?
Yeah, I was just laughing at Bob. Look at how big gay hearts for home bros. Amazing. Hugs for you too, Bob Guy. Hugs for you too. Similar to Top Bucket, yeah. Day job is DCA. I like it. Hex edits. I like it.
Yep.
Like it, man.
Day job and DCA. I mean, HexDex is actually doing it all over again. He's like, you know what? Fine. I'll go get a job. I'll start some brand new hex stakes, and I'll show you I'll get rich off those ones. Like, he's like, it's a process you can rinse and repeat. I gotta love the fact that that guy's willing to go back to work at his age just to prove to people. He's like, it wasn't a once-off fluke.
Yeah, no, what do you call it? One-hit wonder. What are the teams that get really, like, they'll do great in the playoffs, and then they just, or they'll do great in the regular season, and they'll go to the playoffs and make it to the conference finals, and next year they won't make the playoffs. I forget what everybody used to call it. Anyways, I wanted to see, do you see the hexagon? Boom, 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 boom. 6 sides right here. Somebody pointed that out on Twitter. It's hilarious. But there's a hexagon around Richard, if anyone didn't notice that. So very cool. Just want to scroll through, see if there's any, oh my God, another PulseChain update.
How old
Signaled Paul Revere. What do you know would be really decentralized? Another Ethereum. Okay, not really an update, but coming soon. Thanks, Richard, for your broader marketing appeal and talking about Bitcoin all the time. He's like, let me get these. You didn't use any hashtags, Richard. Come on. Use the hashtags. Federal Reserve. Yeah, he's been going into cuddly teddy bear. Yeah, banking. Maybe more cerebral. Richard talking about Bitcoin more. What is this? Amazing. What is this like? Is this somebody made a doll and that hair? That hair is amazing. Wow, that's like real. Is that like horsehair? Like real hair? Amazing.
I have no idea. Wow.
Got the gradient perfect on the facial hair as well. Wow. Wow. Gucci jacket. I don't know if you actually ever wore one like that, but regardless, touche. Whoever made this, touche. Wow, is that like real? Oh, okay, that's the real jewelry guy. It'd be funny if this was like actually, real gold and stuff, like they made it for the doll.
I wouldn't be surprised. This community does some interesting things, like the sticker on SVB Bank. That was awesome.
Meet Kevin got to. Meet Kevin got to give us some pumpamentals there too. Stake Wealth. I'm checking my Twitter DM. If you wanna hop on. Okay. One sec. Okay, I've answered the DM. Good afternoon, FBI. How's it going? You watch my stream?
Oh, cool. My!
Cool. Got nothing to hide. I'm a Hexagon though. Is that? Do you like that or you don't like that? Headrun could be crazy, man. Looking forward to it. Yeah, and I cannot express it. I try not to just repeat it all the time. I don't want to be a broken record, but if you're not staking Hedron and Icosa to earn more Hedron and Icosa, why?
What do you even do?
I don't.
Yeah.
You're getting more. I'm
a core pleb, and I still have
rewarded.
A Hedron stake, an Icosa stake, a Hex stake, a What's a NFT. Well, 2 What's a NFTs. Like, I got in on that stuff even. Come on, guys. What are you doing?
I don't like. What do you like? Less than 150% APY? Like, I don't like the first year. It's been insane yield through this protocol. So I crazy. I have another gentleman popping on here as well, but just want to verify him real quick. I'll keep going through the comments and let's see. Bob, the guy, big watt holder needs to do the link. Yeah, what do you think about? So it sounds like Liquidity forked from Liquid Loans, Power City to support loans for PulseChain and loans for PulseX. And then there's a whole bunch of stuff in the ecosystem for Power City. I don't know much about it, but is what like I don't know. Do you know much about the Power City ecosystem?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh yes.
You want to
talk about
that?
Power City ecosystem looked like way too much of a bite for anybody to chew off when they were first going, but I saw the value of it, so I still actually personally sat because I was like, I don't even care if their token makes money. I want them to keep building. So, I mean, when I first saw the ecosystem, I mean, really, like, I see a blockchain like a nation. So, I mean, you need a construction company, you need the devs, and they started making a project to make it appealing to the devs. How do you make this appealing to come over and build? Well, you build, they build the core, a mega bridge to allow their token to cross swap between chains so people can move their liquidity from chain to chain. The core, that's a huge, big undertaking to go multi-chain bridging. Then, okay, they're also making an NFT creation tool. So not even, I think they're working on the marketplace too, but the big thing was to attract builders, and they were also doing host services so that way you could do testing on nodes, all sorts of background stuff. So more or less like the construction company of the chain. And coming along with their progress on the core, yeah, they've had enough integration that they were able to copy the liquidity protocol, because they were building front ends for the liquid loans protocol anyway, that now the liquidity fork, and liquidity fork's a fork of liquidity, which held up really well in the stablecoin charges. And the stability pool is a really awesome offset. So, I mean, it incentivizes people to stake their stable coins and Pulse into the pool, or PulseX into the pool, to receive fees by making sure that there's a cushion in the event that the price starts dropping off rapidly and there is a bank run. So, I mean, with the stabilization process, they're cornering a whole lot of interface ability, automation, basically everything that gets the high-end geeks to come back running over the chain, because Ethereum lost a lot of them because of the prices to transact. So they ran to cheaper chains like BNB, where apparently the MIT guys set off that coin, which is heavily bonded with BNB. I did look at the liquidity pairing. There's $27 million of liquidity in that between the two sides, but don't know anything else about that project. But the point is that, yeah, the devs went where it was cheap to build, like KG and Dawn for their wallet project went and took their source token to BNB to start. They forked over to Ethereum now at this point. But yeah, the fees just drove everyone away. So Power City is this huge anchor to go, well, here's an EVM chain, a really well-built one, really cheap, and now you can move your liquidity in easily. Come test your nodes, build with these NFT creation tools, and oh, hey, we've got these front ends for a whole bunch of different protocols on the network to help automate your process and make it easier to implement your strategies. Oh, and we're even going to fork one of these protocols to make sure one of the favorite coins gets a stable coin that is already proven itself over on the Ethereum chain during all this crisis. So yeah, that kind of sums up what they've been after for the last year, and they've done exceptional work at coming along with their products.
Wow. Yeah, that's one of the ecosystems. I know there's a lot of people out there that love it and got into it. I remember in Vegas at PulseCon, there was a Power City party, which was an excellent party when I was out there too. And I'm, okay, if you're throwing a party and hosting fashion show and all this stuff, you got a lot of power backing you. So yeah, I've talked to Jesse a lot. I've talked to Mr. Vacation as well, and they're building some stuff over there. It certainly seems like it. We got D-Hexkin. Welcome to the show. D-Hexkin, how's it going? You have made it for the final 15 minutes.
Yeah, good. How are you guys?
Doing good.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Good. Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, awesome. You guys are awesome. I love watching your show, and yeah, just thought I'd come on and see what's going on. Obviously, the markets are crazy, and yeah, it's exciting times for us with PulseChain coming up, and Yes, there's so many projects on there that I'm so keen to kind of, dive into, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
I'm glad we could be at a good hour for you, and I assume Australia. It should be early morning over there sometime.
Yeah, it's 11 o'clock here.
Nice. Yeah, it's always it's iffy with the UK folks and Europeans at this time, but it seems to be all the Australians they're able to attend. So awesome. Glad
Yeah,
to have you, man. Didn't mean to dox you just based on your voice. I just guessed, but yeah. Do you
yeah,
wanna
so
you
good.
wanna introduce yourself and just how'd you come about the community and just do that before we
Like,
go into the insane before we go to the thesaurus.com and get into this. Appreciate all the kind words, by the way. Thank you.
That's all right. I got into Hex probably. I think it was around 11 cents, like before the pump, like the major pump. But so I've just watched basically, and I bought all the way, sort of not all the way to the top, but like up to about 30 cents. I still see it as an extreme, like a valuable asset. So I've been buying recently, and just loving it, man. I love the content, and I think the thing that really drew me in was the fact that Richard doesn't talk shit. Like, he actually tells you what a spade is. He's not making stuff up. He actually gives you good advice, not financial advice, but he tells you what the financial markets are doing. And I value that so much more than the fluff that you get across the board. So I went through that phase. I think I went into Cardano before it pumped heavily. Been rugged a few times and stuff like that. But then you learn, and then you find the right people and the community that's definitely there trying to help you. So once you find that, it's very hard to kind of back away from something that good. So yeah, that's why I'm extremely excited about the PulseChain launch, and projects like Fiat and Power City. Amazing teams, amazing people, and I'm really excited about Tetra. I think that's going to be interesting. And what else? I was actually going to ask you guys about weight, because I don't know a whole heap about it, but obviously, if it's going to be like a MetaMask sort of setup, like a fiat on ramp for that kind of thing, how it ties into IM and that kind of thing, it could be valuable. I know that the market cap, and I know that market cap doesn't mean anything, but it's pretty low.
Yeah. I mean, I've been following Weight and the founders for probably since they've started coming out and making stuff. I guess so. Just from what I've seen, I mean, the Zero X Coast teams, they seem to be serious. I've never seen somebody talk about regulations and getting approvals and permits and stuff as much as these guys. And they come on, Stoic came on and did liquidity providing AMA, one of the first ones with me, him and Sam Stolt, and super technically sound, really know the crypto markets. And then Wait is just kind of this, I wouldn't call it a meme, but it's more of a, I don't know what category it's really in. It's kind of like, hey, based on, you could free claim it up until PulseChain launches. And then now they're doing Wait V2 when PulseChain does launch. I think they're changing something about the timekeeping feature, or otherwise removing some kind of key maybe. But they hold the principles of the richer ecosystem as far as I can tell. And then what it will be used for. So that's the question everyone asks is, well, okay, what does it do after PulseChain launches? What's the use for it? And the interactions that I've had them on the show before talking about the fiat on ramps. Ton of speculation. Obviously, they're going to say too much until everything's ready. We don't know if it's going to be part of that in some way, if there's going to be some reason to provide liquidity for it, if there's going to be some reason that's going to be used. There's all kinds of things. I don't want to speculate too much, but there's a lot of different ways you could see tokens like this being used in systems that they're building, and ones they haven't even built yet. We don't even know what they have in the pipeline as far as that goes. So it's kind of one of those with Wait. You got to wait and see. But people, A lot of people seem to like it. I like the idea. I like the team more than anything. I think that's, the coin itself is not the most exciting coin, but I like the team behind it. So I tend to invest more in teams like Richard. I invest in Richard's products because I like Richard. I like his values. He builds stuff that the price go up, and Trustless, healthy motivation, stuff like that. So I like teams, and I think a lot of teams can't tell us. They don't want us to have expectations, right? So they can't tell us everything they're working on. So if they're building something, you can either believe they're doing it for a reason, it's going to have value later, or you can just stick it out and just invest in the products that you think are interesting at the time. In this ecosystem, there's not a lot of losing projects. That's at least the ones that I talk about, of course. On Friday, I got Nate Mintz on, and we're going to go through the Pulse hot list, and I've heard it's got some hot stuff, some flaming stuff on it, flaming in the garbage term, but so not every project is going to be great, but I think the ones that I guess the test is if they hold Richard's values close, if they there's a bunch of different red flags and green flags you can talk about too, but 0x Coast team, I haven't seen any red flags from them. I think they're trying to build incredible stuff for us, so that's why I think wait is worth a look at, and then I guess you decide for yourself.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, totally. I'll be checking it out a little bit more. I haven't kind of done any deep dives or anything like that, but yeah, it looks pretty good from a founder's sense, and yeah, that's I think typically that's how I invest at the moment, like with respect to the people that are involved, like I like Buck. He's funny as, and he's just a good guy, and you've got other founders that are very similar, like Dipcatcher and Gold Key, and
yes, the Maximus guys, like I said before, they can create as many tickers as they want. Like those guys are here to. I respect them so much, and nothing against people do sack faces. Obviously, a lot of teams need them. They fund projects, stuff like that. But the Maximus guys, I'll hold them on the next level of respect for not doing sack phases, just doing either airdrops or trading 1-for-1 for products that have utility and actually solve a problem. So much respect to those guys. That's another great team I could point out. Yeah,
I like NFT and Pulse. I've been hitting Top Gun up on Twitter, and that's a cool project too. And they're doing some interesting stuff with across their platform. So people should check it out.
Just going to answer FOMOphobic's question here. There are 2 weight tokens. So yes, there is the weight V1, which is on Ethereum right now. And then there will be a weight V2, which you can, I guess there's going to be like a trade, a claim with your previous weight. When PulseChain launches, there'll be a weight V2 token, which is basically the same. I think they changed a couple parameters or something. And that'll be what, we'll see. We'll see which one continues to be traded, right? The longest chain, the one that people value is the one that's valued the most. But it seems like, V2 is coming when PulseChain launches in. And wow, if we had that fiat on ramp, that'd be phenomenal. And then let's see. Just looking at questions real quick. Yeah, I wanted to get to Graphics had a question, which I want to go 2 different ways. Well, I think we'll wrap up on this. So he's like, insane. Any other things? And I said the other day that Richard, when we were talking about all the hex minting and publishing and smurfing, blah blah blah, all that stuff, that Richard was going deep into that Thesaurus.com, trying to figure out how to best represent hex and avoid any kind of regulatory scrutiny. And we're just kind of guessing at this point because we don't know what they're going to do with staking. But if anyone's got a crystal ball, it's that gentleman there. So with the insane, I don't know, we got excessive, extreme, lavish, inordinate. So you're trying to describe Moonmat. I see Moonmat people saying almost 2x principal yield alone. Yeah, you got a few options here. Yeah, limitless, overweening. That's one I've never heard anyone say out loud before. Overweening. So a lot of fun ones there. What do you guys think? What's a good word for insane that's not overused and cool?
Well, I mean, I'm a math guy, so the word exponential really feels like it's a good one to roll with. Like, these gains are going to be exponential.
There you go. Unmerciful gains. I like that one too. What do you think, DX?
Man, my brain doesn't think that fast. I need a bit of time.
No worries. There's another. I was going to go to the HEX page too, just to. I work for HEX. Nice. Yeah. Actually, when we go out to dinner sometimes at the local meetups, we'll be like, yeah, we'll be wearing HEX shirts and PulseChain and stuff, and people are like, is that your all's company? Who do you work for? Like, yeah, we work for Hex.com. We're Hex.com employees. just try not to confuse them too much. So in light of that, I went to open the Thesaurus page for minting, coining. I've got my HEX coining. That sounds hard. Chiseling, abating, napping. What the hell what does that even mean? With a K?
I already decided after like the second name change when it was heading to the territory of the artist formerly known as Prince. And I decided I'm just hexing. It's a verb now. Hex is a verb. I'm hexing, man.
It almost sounds like okay. There you go. Okay. Pounding though. Hex
hexing.
Pounding.
I don't care what it's called. I'm just hexing all day.
I'm gonna go pound some hex.
Yeah, 555 hexing.
Padding card. There's some crazy ones. Let's see. I'm just gonna do staking, even though I know it's not gonna get the context. Funding, financing, supporting, endowing, aiding, paying, putting, betting, wagering, playing, venturing, adventuring, imperiling. Really? Hold on. Are those two different words? Imperiling. Are those two different words? Those look like the same. One L.
Yeah. There's a different number of L's. One's got one L, and the other's got two.
Do you pronounce it differently based on the number of L's?
Can you tell I have been watching for scam accounts recently? Like, what's the difference in these names? I see it.
It's a Cyrillic character. Oh no, yeah. Yeah. Let's see. I just want to know. Yeah, of course it doesn't have anything for that one.
Just smurfing my hex coins.
People are very people don't, because smurfing it actually means like something bad in finance or whatever. So
yeah,
people are not happy with that one.
And it's also a term I think for in drugs, like as well as finance. Right. People you need for like money laundering, or people you need to get components of your drug chemistry set.
What are you talking about?
It's not a good term.
He looks like a gentleman to me. He looks like a gentleman.
Yeah.
These are gentlemen.
Yeah, that's why a whole bunch of dudes are constantly hanging around one chick. No.
All right, take that in a different direction. We need another Smurf. Nice. Wow. Okay. Attacking, bombing, blow. See, none of these are very good. Snaring. I don't want to snare my hex.
Yeah, no, it's not a trap. You're not snared.
Mining.
It's not a trap.
Why would they give me this of mining? I need a crypto thesaurus. Does that exist?
A crypto thesaurus. We're about to find
out. Is there another word for crypto? No, these are all just it can give me a synonym for crypto.
Yeah.
All right, it's time for the community to build it. Let's build a thesaurus for Richard to continue down the path. Every time they say something, the government say something bad, we pivot and we get it done. I don't see any updates. Yeah, I was just looking at this Twitter. The wonderful SJ did a quote. I'll have to watch that one later too. You see this? GP, General Public. Look at that. I don't see any hex in there. It makes me so sad, but I understand.
Oh, I'm pretty sure the little green one was hex.
Oh, is it? Yeah, let's zoom in. Nope, that's XRP. No. Oh no, actually, sorry, it's right there. Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. I knew it was on there somewhere.
Look at this. Ivan on tech. Welcome to the party.
Yeah, he's a Hexican now. Finally.
It certainly seems like it. He's coming out.
Yeah. It's almost as though all these guys were calling Hex a scam, but made sure to sack for Pulse, and now that it's getting closer, willing to say, oh, we got our accumulation in. Okay, it's okay now.
Dude, is that not another like bullish indicator on the you could call it macro, is like the influencers are actually talking about Hex now? Isn't that insane? You're Ivan on Tech talking about Hex.
Yeah, the gatekeeping is melting. That's why that dip
Crazy.
catcher thing about scams, I'm like, that's the old world where it's a brave new world. Like the gatekeeping is melting because of PulseChain. So yeah, the user count, like if you go and look at the smart contract on Hex, the user count just keeps growing and growing, and these are all brand new accumulators that have only just begun. So I mean, yeah, the next wave of Hex is just starting, and yeah, I really am excited for PulseChain. I'm excited for updates to PulseX. I'm excited for new testnet numbers. I'm excited to be able to run and crunch my math model with some more accuracy. I mean, I'm surprised at no point did you get me to pimp out the numbers. I have it ready on standby.
I totally forgot. You want to
Do it.
let me address the chat real quick. Chat, we do have to wrap up because we've been going for a while. But I wanted to say, let's see, Michael, I talk about chat bots. You talking about ChatGPT, Michael? Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of time left. Otherwise, I would certainly bring up OpenAI and ask it to tell me some amazing stuff. But let's see. Look at the text and chart. Yeah, sorry, we don't have time for a few of these. I like ladder. I like turtles, but also like laddering as well. See you. Even Scumbag McCormick has sex. You know what? Eric Wall is going to be like, fooled you. I'm in too. But yeah, man. What's give us the math and we'll wrap up on that. Sounds good to me.
All right. Share screen.
Oh, graphics is here. Welcome to the show, Cryptographics. How's it going? Just in time.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's good to see you guys here. Good to see you again, Max.
Blazing mic. Love your sound. Always got a good mic set up.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, I realize I'm catching you guys right at the tail end of the stream, so I have terrible timing. Wow.
Hey, you have time to comment on Hexadian moon mass, so you came just in time in that way.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. You guys able to see the screen share?
If you want to zoom in, if it's possible, could you zoom in?
Oh yeah, no, I'll zoom in. Zoom in. This is the mega math model. The crystal ball.
TG, did you do a stream with this a while back?
Oh yeah. This gets updated periodically. I haven't done any updates to it since I actually managed to add an adoption curve, like an S-curve adoption model to it. So this thing essentially takes a simulated liquidity pool and then adds simulated buys to it. But how much does it know to add buy over buy time after time? Well, I run a bunch of other numbers where I take the fee numbers that PulseX is going to collect, and then I run it. So we'll look at the what if game here and scroll up. So basically I have numbers where I have a token count, I have the price of the token, the value simulated so I can run the liquidity pool. But then I also have more detailed information about fee rates collected, comparable. So in this model, I use Uniswap because it's basically a clone of PancakeSwap and Uniswap. So I use Uniswap's volume because Hex made it popular anyway. Our community should do amazing things and we should follow Uniswap pretty closely. So I take their volume, their amount of business done per day, and I assume we're going to do 10% of it because we have about 10% of the users when we look at the amount of people that sacked. So when I get back to the crystal ball here, this is where bullish in terms, like if we assumed we had 100%, the same amount of users as Uniswap to start with, I would use 100%. But I think we're going to start with 1/10 of the users and ramp up to 100% over a year. And since I think it's going to be like a 10x ramp up, that's where this scale number comes in from starting to finish. And base users, I have to correct that because that one is for Uniswap. So Uniswap numbers. Now that I can put in Uniswap numbers, I love this so much because, all right, let's open this up a little bit. So I break this down into 1 year, 5 year, and there's even 10 and 20 year models here. But we're assuming I've got this thing set up all nice and polite to begin with. So growth year over year. If we started with 1/10 of Uniswap's users, well, we have 10.5% the next year because we went up 5%. And then we'd have 11.1% the year after, compounding 5% growth. That seems really slow, so we'll even just set it to 10% growth year over year. So starting with 10% of the users of Uniswap, 10% growth year over year. And then, the liquidity pool. I had an estimated size, but people kept changing it on me. The last time I checked, it was 73 times bigger than what I assume the main net pool size will be. Because I'm assuming a liquidity pool more the size of hexes, but I could be wrong. So in this, okay, well, what if you took $100 and got it in on the day one sack, and then it launches? This is just for fun. I thought a 20x. I could adjust that to just a 10x from the sack rate, because over the month it went up, so it was 10 times more, and I didn't think it would start at less than a value of the ending sack price. So I put it up to 20x because I was feeling generous. But in this model, I even included the sell-off because, how many people sacked for PulseX because they didn't get into Pulse, and then still haven't seen my moon math video where I look at the buy and bird, let's say 15%. So we get a sell-off number equal to 15% of the total supply of PulseX at 2.5 trillion in that first month. And then just for fun, I was throwing in sell-off amounts. So we should delete these out of here because that's how I demonstrate like 3 trillion tokens, 2 trillion tokens, 1 trillion. Like that's 6 trillion of sell-off in the first, 8.5 trillion out of the 17 trillion, almost half the supply sold off in the first 5 years into these pools in this simulation right here. With only a 10% year-over-year growth, it'll probably do way better. And let's see, still, it looks like the 5-year forecast with that kind of sell pressure and no one in the market buying, you'd still see a 5x on your sack value over the 5 years, which is better than anything in Wall Street. And that's with some mad dumpage. Like, let's make it a little more reasonable and just make it 1 trillion in the per year. So we're down to like 5 trillion. I think that's, just slightly too big for a number. No, slightly too small. Right. And let's change this. So let's calm this down a little bit. And so sell-off pressure is now closer to 5.5 trillion. Well, we're up to 6x's. It still doesn't seem that impressive. But this is where, how fast do you guys think this will take off? Like, let's look at some of the numbers. At 10% growth year over year, we start with 150,000 users the first year. By the third year, we're only up to 200,000 users. I mean, 5 years in, we only have 300,000 users. I mean, I think Richard has that many followers right now. So I don't think that 10 years in, 15, we haven't broken 1 million users. There's no way that happens. So let's ramp this up a little bit. About 25% growth year over year. Have a look at the user counts. Well, we break 1 million users by the 6th year. By that, we're into 2 million by 10 years. And 20 years, we have 13 million users. That almost sounds reasonable. Doesn't it, guys? But now, when you look at so with the sell-off, oh my God, I think the market will come in and buy, because this does not simulate any buy pressure from the market, just sell-off. But still, after 5 years, even with 5.5 trillion out of the 17 trillion dumped into it, that's a 42x. And that's not if you bought at the dip of the first year, the way this thing's dumping. Like, the automated buy pressure just will constantly eat these tokens up. And if you look at the what if game, the way I simulate the user growth, let's get back over and I can demonstrate this a little more, because the orange lines here show the amount of tokens bought and burnt in that month and the amount of buy pressure for the entire month. And that is $2 million of buy pressure in month 7 alone. So when I start looking at the years and we jump up to year 3 in this current simulation, I'm looking at 82.5 million almost dollars of buy pressure in that month here, or sorry, in that year, in that whole entire year. That's a lot of automated buy pressure based on volume of other tokens swapped on the network. So even if you had no market buy pressure, which there will be, you have that much compensating effect to any of the insane sell-offs that people want to do. And I really think with an amazing RH product and the way, if we go look at the adoption rates that we're getting, that anything less than 150% year over year would probably be nominal. And I mean, the X's start getting insane that the 5-year forecast says 723 X's now. And I never even go over to the 10 and 20 because I don't want people to have heart attacks. But yeah, number of X's since launch, 81,000 X's after 10 years if we got to that 50% adoption year over year. But if we actually look at the user counts, like by 10 years, 8 million users. That's what that adoption rate looks like. And by 20, wow, that's 500 million people in 20 years using this chain if it were that successful, swapping on our DEX. And 311,000 X's, like the return on that, $100 this is just insane moon math. There's no way this could be real. But my simulation, like, I put a lot of effort into this. Like, you can see the different graphs showing the sell-offs and then the rebounds from the actual buy pressure that the big buyer Barry that K4K coined is able to do. Like, oh my god, I try to simulate, and down here this is an S curve of the actual user count. So I mean, I haven't figured out how to set this in log in Excel yet, but the idea is in the first year I simulate a small S curve, and then as we go through the next 10 years I simulate another S curve, and then the last 10 years gets the final wave of growth in this simulation. And yeah, I don't know, like the longer out I go, like I don't know, because like the buy and burn is not going to stop. If people don't stop trading, that's going to go up, and there might not be that much sell-off pressure, because remember, you don't have to sell your coins for a profit. You only have to go and take them to a stablecoin protocol, and you can mint your own loan that in some areas may be tax-free. I don't know. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a tax consultant. But wow, you've got a bunch of reasons between the DAO being able to promise not to sell it for day by day to earn yield of free airdrop tokens. You've got the stablecoin protocol, and you've got all this automated buy pressure available for this product, where these are buy and burns where you don't have to worry about the iMob at Apple selling shares on your head after you just bought in. So yeah. Any questions on this before I stop sharing my screen?
That's amazing, man.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's wild. The amount of work you must have put into that. Like, I can't even imagine how many hours you've had to refine and tweak that to get it to work properly.
Yeah, well, Mass Savant, it took me one night and a bunch of Red Bulls to crack out version 1. And then I put in a few hours a week doing revisions, and I probably made like 5 revisions per version, and this is probably version 3, because after I added the S curve, that was a major overhaul when I was finally able to simulate user count over the years and then simulate the amount of volume that would generate. So yeah, it's I don't know, like, I mean, I look at it and I'm like, it's just a toy, it's just an emulator. I build these things all the time. Can't you make one of these? Like, I don't see the big deal about it. But you know, then I probably realize I sound like an asshole because not everyone can do this. So I see the numbers, and I heard Richard, like, it started as the what if game because Richard was constantly going, Oh, what if everybody sells because they want the pulse? What if an asteroid takes out the internet? I hate the what if game. I'm not playing the what if game. And I'm sitting there wired watching this show going, yeah, PulseX going, you know what? I'll play the what if game for you. I'll do it, Richard. Let me take them on. Here's all your stupid ideas. I'll run it through an emulator. Nope, price still goes up. Yeah, we'll try that. No, price still goes up. Yeah, we'll try that. Price still goes up. And then people... This made no sense because it was so many raw numbers that I'm like, okay, here's the user interface, the crystal ball. So like that was version 2, switching over to have a user interface. And then, yeah, this S curve was really version 3. And then I've had many updates in between, but I probably put no more than 40 hours into this thing. I mean, working at the computer. I probably think about it way too often.
That's impressive.
So the market,
that's awesome.
If the market like is going to dump PulseX at the start, there's going to be a huge burn then. So like me personally, from a like strategic point of view, I'll just watch, and then whatever asset goes down is the one that I'll buy.
Yeah, like here, burn count. I forgot that was kind of grayed out. Yeah, burnt since the first year with that kind of sell off, 3 trillion. Oh my. Like I have a burn count down here. First year, 1.9 trillion able to be burned with that kind of sell off into the market. But there's some people that get really bullish and they think, well, we'll start at half the numbers of Uniswap. But I mean, if I do that into this model, oh my God, we're looking at 7Xs in the first year, and we're looking at after 5 years. I'm sorry, is that 17,000x? That's 17,000x in the first 5 years. That's some hex numbers. And I don't think these are even fathomable for people. Like $100 could be worth 777 billion. I don't know. I mean, I wrote this math. I don't know where the problem would be in this math, but that we're going back to insane. I'm sorry, CGF or crypto. I can't even say your acronym levels. We're going back to insane. Exponential doesn't cover this. Wacky doesn't cover this.
What was the? I liked a couple of them. Did you see it? Cryptographics. We were going over your insane Thesaurus deal.
Oh, I missed it. No, I wanted to be there. I was setting everything up. I missed it. What'd you guys come up with?
Oh, man, we had some good ones. Let me see if it's still on here. Yeah. Do you want to?
I'll stop sharing.
If you want to. I hate to even ask.
No. I gave you the run through. That was the fun. I wanted you guys to enjoy a little bit of the math wonder wall without boring you to sleep. I know the first time I came on your show, we didn't know each other so well yet. So like you went right into the questions, but like the wrong ones, and I went answering the other way. Like, cause there weren't no questions a wrong question, but I'm like all geared for my presentation. I'm like, oh no. So thanks for
lubricated and ready for Hexagon Textadian. Yeah. Yeah. I think this the second one worked out better. Yeah. No, I mean the first one was still great though, by the way. That was like 100% uptime. I don't know, number 6 or 7, I want to say, something like that. But anyways, back to Thesaurus. I know this is so much more interesting than Moon Math. I know, but man, what was the one? I really liked one of them. I can't remember which one it was.
Hey, man, I couldn't even get it.
Overweening.
I'm trying to think the ones that nobody would ever say out loud, and I'm like, you know what? An overweening. Let's do it. Let's see. Hex, or we were talking about the Hex, minting, staking stuff too. But on the insane. Oh yeah, you said exponential hexadian. Remember?
Yeah.
You like exponential, at the math ankle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Boundless though. Boundless feels like a good one. Those numbers were boundless.
Okay. Oh yeah. Well, the crazy part about that whole thing was, I made a video a while back, and I thought like, okay, this is like gonna get some views. This is gonna be good for the viewers because Moon Math is gonna be like 2.5x your principal is what you're gonna get in yield, and we're already almost up to 2x, and we're still have like over 3,000 HSIs to go, and I'm just like, what? That wasn't supposed to be right.
Yeah, I know the Moon Math pans out. Like I'm scared to see like how accurate my model might be because I'm like, this is just for fun. That can't be right.
Yeah, that's the thing. You never know, and it depends on adoption. And even a decent amount of adoption could skyrocket things far further than you ever expected in a million years. So I'm so excited.
Yeah, that's why I included it in my model. I've got to actually go back and check out your Icosa model now that you're on here. Hi, nice to meet you. I've seen you in the space a few times.
Yeah, nice to meet you too, brother. Yeah, definitely. I'll share some models that I got.
And graphics, we're going to get him on the show. It will happen in the next 3 weeks at some point.
Oh yeah, we got a plan. I think it's sometime in the next. Yeah, by end of April ish. Or no, beginning of April. Sorry.
Somewhere there. I got. Oh, I think DX. We got Echo.
Okay, sorry.
It's all right. Just I thought it was graphics for a second, but graphics will be on the show in the next 3 weeks. And just one more, unjustifiably, these gains are unjustifiably good. Not too bad. Overmuch. These gains are a bit overmuch, aren't they?
Overmuch.
Overmuch.
I still like overweening. Yeah, I like overweening.
Overweening it is. Gentlemen, I dinner's on the table. Otherwise, I'll go for another 2 hours. But you guys are awesome. Appreciate it. DHEX, sorry, you can unmute. And thank you. Thanks for coming on, man. It's good to have you, and appreciate you being supportive of the show too.
Yeah, appreciate it. And Cryptographics, love you, man. Looking forward to seeing some of your shows too.
Oh, thanks, bro. Love you too. And yeah, we'll definitely get some more going on here, either on Max's channel or my channel, or I'm planning on being more active here, so it'll be fun.
Graphics is heating up.
Slowly but surely.
Yeah, man. It's spring. You gotta be sprung, and then summer's coming. It's getting hot in here. We gotta have some more graphic shows. You can take that.
Get my inner chicken going.
Inner chicken, and now you got me thinking about Litecoin. Little chicken fly. Top Gun, always good to have you, man. Glad you come back. And I'm beat everyone. I appreciate it. Go follow these guys at Cryptographics on Twitter. The website. Okay, real quick. I swear to God, last thing. I'm going to put the book on here. I have to.
Let's go.
Shoot, you got to tell me that because it was Crypto Bible first, and then you did crypto investing.
Yeah, it's the crypto practical. Oh, what even is? It's so new to me still. Like, it's still the Crypto Bible in my mind. We changed it for Amazon and for just like SEO and whatnot and ranking, but on the Cryptographics website, it's still. I'll see if I can find it.
Practical
and crypto investing.
Say it. Let's do this. I think this one. Yeah, here we go. I got it.
The Crypto Investing Practical Handbook. Yeah.
Yes, everyone, it's free PDF on the website, but you should buy a paper copy, in my opinion, to support Steve and Crypto Event. So yeah, can you explain it to Crypto Events? What was what did you guys work on different chapters, or I guess how did that work out with the book real quick?
Yeah, so basically I had the book written completely and I needed to get it edited, and I knew that I was at the point where I was just like, I'm so done with trying to edit this book. Like, I can't even see. I got like the I'll call it like almost like chess blindness or whatever it's called. Where you can't even see the first moves. I didn't even know what to edit anymore. So I was like, I need someone to edit this. And I reached out to Vince and was like, hey man, would you be willing to? And I offered to like maybe compensate him at some point if like he helped me out. I didn't know how it was gonna look. It was supposed to be for free, so I was just gonna like help him out for helping me out. And then he ended up just doing more and more and more, and then we started adding this and then adding that, and then it just turned into this behemoth of a book that was supposed to be not nearly what it is today. So I wrote the chapters. He basically refined them and added a lot of the correct phrasing and terminology that turned it from some dude in a bedroom writing blogs to like an academic book of sorts. So he did a great job.
Some guy printing t-shirts to a professional book.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, that's amazing, man. Hexagon's working together. Fantastic. I'm glad. I always love people as a big book literature, pretend intellectual in a lot of ways. I love seeing these things come to life. I know how much work it takes. I've worked on a few different projects related to this as well, and in different areas too. And it's just so time consuming, takes a lot out of you. And it's just like one of those selfless, thankless things that, I just want to highlight more in the community. And I get telling you on the DMs, I've referenced it at least twice, and I'll probably continue to reference it and do voice narration from time to time on it, because there's so much good information on Hedron, PulseChain, PulseX, Hex, Cosa, just tons of good stuff. So everyone, support our local community here. Go buy the book, go download the book, go use the book, go reference the book, go tell people about the book, because it's a great book. And I definitely wanted to make sure, I was like, graphics comes on, I'm going to bring up the book because I want to tell more people about it. So
yeah, thanks so much, man. I really appreciate the shout out. And also, I got to give a shout out to our publisher that he basically stepped up. He's asked to remain anonymous, but he stepped up and he just offered to do all the formatting, getting everything ready, doing the publishing, like everything involved with releasing the book, just to do it, just to help out. And shout out to you. You know who you are. Thank you, man. You actually made this book come to life, because it wouldn't have been published if it wasn't for you. So you're the man. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. And I may have to, if he is interested in doing Scivive, making that come to life, we may have an edited version this summer, fingers crossed. And that's something that will be an ongoing project as well, that we'll need a publisher, person help in some sort. So
I'll get in touch with them.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, it just that may be coming up, so it'd be great to have connection there. And I want to tie the loose end on this. TG, yes, JR said you helped him out, Walrus, MetaMask issue, and he he owes you 1 million Pulse or something. Looks like. So congrats on that. Awesome. If you can. Stoically responding, or maybe he's not paying attention. One of those. It got real quiet for a second.
Well, I got carried away on Twitter for a moment. I didn't want to do any mic overlap. Plus, I realized we're a half hour over your time limit. I totally trashed your plan to get off with my math model. So I'm like, I should just sit quietly and let him end the show and get to dinner.
That's okay. That's okay. If you hear a knock, that means the wife's cutting me off. So she's being very patient right now. I don't know why, but she is. So, but before she comes, because we don't want to get to that point, everyone, and seemingly, I love it. Awesome. Thanks, Wood. PulseX 10,002 years. We certainly hope so. Ordering a copy of paperback. There you go. Yeah, and 5-star review, everyone. 5-star. If you think it's worth 5 stars, which it is, let me break it down for you. It is. Leave a good review. We need to get it trending on Amazon. More people coming in, buying the book, understanding more about what true DeFi is, and of course supporting people that wrote it. So everyone, appreciate you all coming out. Everyone on the panel, thank you very much. DHEX, Graphics, Top Gun, good to see you, gentlemen. Go follow Top Gun Hex ADM. DHEX, do you have Twitter or YouTube you want to chill?
Man, I don't even know what it is. So I'm just happy being on here listening to the big brains.
Good enough. If you do, feel free to throw it in a comment or something later, and I can put it on here. Always want to get your stuff out there. You come on the show, you contribute. Always appreciate it. So everyone. Let me put Top Gun's daily. Put it in here at Top Gun. Yes. So go follow Top Gun if you want some more. Last time I said moon math, and you're like, it's not moon math, it's just regular math, because that's how much you believe in PulseX. So I remember that. I remember you saying that. So there you go.
It's because it is what it is. Like the variables are what are moony. Like the equation is sound math. What you put into it, like what's our adoption rate going to be year over year? Is it going to be 110%, 150, 200%? That's where you get moon mathy, and people will just make these assumptions and run. And I'm like, no, set them as variables. So the equation is sound math. So when I set it to 110% year over year, just 10% growth year over year, that's way too little. I just kneecap this thing. And then when I go and do all these other kneecaps, setting these little variables, there's no way we're going that low. And I'm not even putting market buy pressure in it. And then the Chumbawamba song should be its theme song. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never going to keep me down. I do my math model, and I'm bullish again. I haven't looked at this thing in months, and I'm just going, wait, what were those numbers? Oh, my God. I didn't stack enough.
Didn't sack. I think a lot of people are saying they did. Well, I don't know. A lot of people are saying, "Where's my fucking money right now?" But the other people are saying, "I didn't sack enough." So, anyways, gents, the math is the math. Let's all get rich and then figure out what we really want to do, and Maybe it's crypto forever. Maybe it's going to save people's lives. Maybe it's riding off the sunset, buying an island. Maybe it's just going out there, starting a foundation to help people or otherwise. But it's an extraordinary opportunity, and I feel privileged to be in a community that's focused on doing some cool stuff in the world. So without further ado, Scivive and 5555, everyone.